Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 14 of Let's Play Tyranny Gold Edition. In the last part, we looked around our spire, talked to our companions, interacted with our spire, and then came to the Bastard City to talk to our Lord Tunon. First things first, though, before we go talk to our Lord, we're going to speak with Barak.
And so, civil war divides the armies of mighty Kyros. The reckoning that comes of this failure will be great indeed. We find ourselves in the darkest times. Brothers and sisters who fought for a similar cause now skewer each other over blighted lands in the favor of distant powers.
This isn't a matter for discussion.
No? Whether in combat or in life, avoiding your problems will rarely solve them. Whatever others might say about what happened in Vendrian's Well, you acted from instinct. I can't help but respect that.
Onward. We have my Lord to talk to. And then we've got these guys to talk to, and these guys. Hey, look, it's Bitterquip. He's never happy. Bitterquip's never happy with me, so let's just... apart from my one playthrough where I'm actually good friends with the Scarlet Chorus, which is like my first ever attempt at being friends with them.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kyros' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon regards you in thoughtful silence. I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus. Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem. Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy. You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony. But it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
I'll speak with the Archon of War.
Your fellow fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kyros, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I was only doing my job, Your Honor.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable, but modesty will not recommend you to the task ahead. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kyros' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already.
Tunon nods in approval.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Great deeds will define me.
You begin to understand. Whether your acts are favorable or heinous, it falls to you to bring greatness to this campaign. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kyros' name.
Tunon raps his gavel against the floor, the singular note resounding throughout the hall. And then Tunon suddenly fucks off back over here. You know, we'll do this court mission. We'll actually talk to him again. You return. It is gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know? I have a request from Barak of the Stone Shields. And what does Barak of the Stone Shields want from the court? He has made his displeasure known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tiers upon each other. The adjudicator glares down at Barak. He came to inquire if the forge-bound could help remove his armor. If he has become encased in iron, that is none of the court's concern. My forge-bound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army, and I would not have their focus diverted to liberate one soldier from his raiment. Stone Shield, do the disfavored not have standards for the upkeep of arms and armor? Is this not one of your Archon's guiding principles? It is, Your Honor, but I found myself trapped in this junk pile after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you want to blame anyone, it should be Kyros. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude, what are you doing? The adjudicator contemplates the matter in total silence. The moment drags on far longer than you would have suspected it warrants, but Tunon's interest does not abate for a moment. The soldier will remain encased in his armor, eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kyros are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic the likes of which none of us understand has touched the stone shield, and will not interfere with the will of, and we will not interfere with the will of Kyros. But I'm trapped. Barak trails off, looking for you for answer. I'm saying nothing. Such is the will of Kyros, and the will of the court. Tunon nods and bangs his gavel. You tried, and I suppose that counts for something. The adjudicator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying has ever made it better. I have no more questions. Then be on your way. Sure, let's talk to him. It shouldn't surprise you that Archon Tunon would not make what was wrought by the Overlord's wrath. Surprise, no. Disappoint, yes. For the Archon's decision changes nothing. I have preserved to this point. I shall continue to do so for the sake of the General Ash in the north. There may well be another way. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the Forgebound, but from anyone, anywhere in the world. Perhaps some other way for you will present itself. Actually, if your honor demands you remain in the army, no, fuck it. We'll say perhaps some other way for you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it misplaced. The Forgebound would be curious about you regardless. The articulation on your armor is incredible. At the very least, we should let them take a look at you. My armor is unique. Perhaps it can teach them something that will aid the disfavored. We can fight the Forgebound at the smithy in Levian's Crossing. He nods. Let us leave, Fatebinder. I worry that my presence offends these nobles' precious sensibilities. He bows his head to you and moves away, trailing behind him the wafting reek of fetid privy. Anyway, let's go talk to... first things first, we're going to go talk to the fatebinders. Our brothers and sisters of the court, I believe they were called. So this is actually a quest that I've never done because it's part of one of the DLCs. So that's Barak, are you fucking serious? First things first, let's talk to him. Ah, Galerius, you return, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The fatebinder of war claps you good-naturedly and excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. He rakes a hand through his thick red beard and offers you a grin. Come, let us speak freely. Yeah, I have nothing. I don't actually think any of... Yeah, I don't need to talk to you guys, do I? I keep forgetting that. And we don't need to talk to those guys either. So yeah, we can actually just leave. I've just realised I don't actually need to talk to them yet at all. It's this guy I need to talk to. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bled Mark, the Archon of Shadows, rouses from a faraway statue, austere, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems too stiff, sifting in and out of the shadows that shroud him. Here you free your rings at Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet. To pick the Archon of War. But tell me the truth. Did you go with the Ash because he seemed like the right thing to do? Or because supporting the voices was a worse option? What sane creature would trust the voice of the rat? One does like to win a battle every once in a while. At least the voice of the rat isn't consumed by grief or hesitation like some Archons I know. Don't mistake him. The Archon of Secret thrives on mistrust. When everyone believes you're lying, speaking the truth is a fine blade with which to cut your enemy. All that matters is the Edict of Execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vengeance Well should be thanking you for their lives. Now, I'm assuming you're off to go meet with Ash, but first you and I need to have a little chat. I'm going to glare silently. Everyone's keeping an eye on you, because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to which that might be? I know it's one of these. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's all of them. I'm gonna use. I've never done this one. So let me guess. I'm the first fatebinder Kyros has decided to promote to some position of authority. Not even close, kid. You've mistaken Kyros for someone who knows, who cares that you exist. Proclaiming an edict isn't new. Neither surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. But you're the first to proclaim and resolve the same edict. But it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. And now I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems. More or less. Mostly more. He offers you a dangerous grin. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. Sticking with the disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least, smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, but if you value Ash's warriors, they'll serve you the best they can. I'm gonna say, until the next. The Archon of Shadow shrugs to you in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. Right, let's get out of here before he just suddenly decides to stab me. I like how the bastard city looks like it's got black holes in it. That's pretty cool. So we now have a list of options. We could actually go to Iron Heath, or I could resolve anything to do with Levian's Crossing straight away. And if I'm honest, I prefer to go to Sunset Spire there. I prefer to get this Spire deal over with first. So that's what we're gonna go do. A group of mercenaries, members of the Bronze Brotherhood, are blocking the road to Lefian's Crossing. A small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I've come through Ironhole Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you, of all people, can help me. My name is Aster, and I must go to Lefian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll, to him or anyone, and he is to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with a pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I am sorry you've been drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is merely a conflict of the changing times. I am Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhole Trail is under our protection. Anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like passage for our lands, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhole a safe place for all travellers. Clearly you both can see the value in that. Aster speaks, his arms swinging about again, emphasizing his words. And who exactly is keeping it safe? You standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? His arms drop and he turns to you again. I'm not but a travelling merchant. I have no money to spare and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. He points at Will. You're the only threat here. Fatebinder, please, talk some sense to this man. This matter is a waste of my time. You're on your own, merchant. Aster's face falls and he reaches out to you, but Fatebinder, you must help me. I will not pay a toll to some brute and force no cause that means nothing to me. This is injustice, it is the most heinous. Will laughs and points south over Aster's shoulders. Whether you came for the cause or not, merchant, you will not be gaining entry today. Now turn yourself around and head back to the way you came before my hammer shows you the area of your ways. Aster turns to leave and glances at you, his lip drawn in a thin line. I will remember this your help, Fatebinder. Okay, bye-bye. I mean, technically we could have helped him, but it's not part of my mission, nor is it... I mean, this is a petty matter. This isn't for the court, let's be honest. Will returns to his position and looks over you, his former genial mood gone. So Fatebinder on our little corner of the world. Who'd have thought this would happen? He spits between his feet and crushes it into the dirt of his boot. While I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you have spoken with our leader, Ratimon. Oh, fuck, I hate this name. Personally, I thought it was crazy saying you'd be visiting Lefian's Crossing. It looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings inside jiggle melodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. This is ridiculous. This ridiculous piece of mercenary offal requires a lesson in pain and obedience. Allow me to teach him. Thanks, but I can handle this myself. If you don't feel like paying a toll, I can point you back the way you came. If you need an idea of where to go, because I can't let you through. Well, why not? We're gonna punch him. Will's head is thrown to the side as you fist connects with his cheek. He looks at you, his eyes swim momentarily before refocusing. Whoa, what's that for? I don't like insubordination. Next time I tell you to act, do so immediately. Will rubs his cheek. Hold on, I'm just doing my job. I apologize if I offended. Ratimon will have my head if I let you through. There's nothing I can do about it. While you are talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches you. Moving away from some men searching bodies of slain soldiers to the south, he watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pulling into a look of disdain. And here's the Fatebinder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out here when no one asked you to come? Are Kyros' dogs ready to be put down again? I won't surrender the crossing no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect this city, and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. He glances at his men, who have stopped to watch the conversation. With a start, they return to the searching of the bodies. Never mind. He waves a hand dismissively. I don't care why you're here. My name is Ratimon. I'm the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already knew that. I couldn't help see you over there, talking to Will and that travelling merchant. Only here for a moment and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, fatebinder. I told him he had to speak to you, Ratimon. Ratomon? No, what doesn't matter. He wanted fruit, but I told him no. If you don't give him the signal, the fatebinder isn't getting to Lefian's Crossing. No one will invade your territory. Ratimon stares at Will for a few moments, his lips pursed, then continues as if Will never spoke. Watch yourself while you are a guest in my land. If you come here to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and will not back down in the defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arms in front of him, gesturing to the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not always agree, but that is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step up a line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow and he leans towards you. You are not welcome here. Now tell me what you want or leave. You do well to watch your tone when talking to a fatebinder. He laughs hollowly. I care not about Kyros' forces. We are rebuffed their feeble attempts to remove us from our rightful home once already. I am more than happy to try again. You will find I do not cower when you raise your voice against me, lapdog. Alright, that's one too many insults. If you're looking for trouble, here it is. I knew you couldn't be trusted, cad. The forces of Kyros will always show their true face if pushed. Where he retreats, calling to his men as he runs. Guards, we have a snake in our midst. 2 arms. You are so lucky. You are so lucky the game allows you to run away. Because I wouldn't have let you run away. Oh, these guys are fucked, aren't they? Dude. Thank you.
Back here. Will do. That's how it's done.
Yep, that bitch got it. Okay, so let's flurry of blows this guy.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
You know, I feel like making this guy shocked.
Why can't I hit anything? That's how it's done.
How much health do I have?
Working.
Oh, I have 158. Jesus Christ, this is very much unlike Pillars, where you don't have a lot of health early on. And I've been playing a lot of Pillars recently, so... I swear Flurry of Blow does nowhere near enough damage. There we go. Right, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to end this part exactly where we are. And in the next part, we'll continue on. I'll see you guys then.